All right, I'm Ben. Welcome back to another episode of Grandma's Room, now on camera. I'm here with Joffrey today, and today we're going to be talking about the Carroll A Deering, the Lachlan Town Lights just seen last night, and Nazi meth.
Mm-hmm. So, do you want to start? You want me to start?
You can start.
Fuck. Okay. So, to start with the Nazi meth story, I'm going to go into the Weimar Republic,
Okay.
which was just what Germany was referred to as between 1918 and 1933. It was a constitutional republic, so they're like pretty free, and they were known for individual liberty, and they were kind of known as partiers. Like it was like a partier's paradise, like drugs, music,
Yeah.
and like they were more open sexually, and like
Like the rest of Europe.
yeah, and then like I'm pretty sure there was more like not sexist, but
STDs.
no, there was more like gender equality.
Mm-hmm.
Like people, they were viewed more as equals.
Jesus.
But the country was successful until 1929, when the Depression hit pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't handle the strain because they weren't like their economy wasn't that strong to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So that just pretty much sealed the deal that they were fucked. And that's when the Nazis came in and were like, "This is the Jews' fault. Like we can." Also, World War I also caused that because Germany had to pay reparations to like everybody,
Yeah.
so they were already kind of broke.
Yeah, they were fucked.
Yeah. Well, when the Nazis came in, they considered that the drug users of the Weimar Republic were degenerates, and they wanted to clean up society. They also, like I said, they Jewed.
What?
They tied it into Jewish people. I tried to say Jewish and tied it in the same word. They also tied in Jewish people, gay people, etc. to being drug users, and they started sending drug addicts to jail and even sterilizing them. Like they made it so they couldn't have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And they also told people to turn in people that they knew were addicted to drugs, like your neighbors, family members. You know how like every authoritarian government starts.
Yeah.
But also at this time, Germany produced about 40% of the world's morphine and cocaine. So like
Shit.
there's like a little bit of a hypocrisy there. I thought I heard like a fly buzzing. But Nazis also rejected the art from the drug-fueled era, and they focused on art that emphasized family, home, and church, which they weren't really a religious government, so I don't know why. It's probably just to steer people away from drugs, because they wanted that like super clean society look, I guess. But companies at the same time in Germany were starting to manufacture more drugs, like speed and other amphetamines that could boost productivity and make stronger people. And so I guess they were fine with drugs as long as it benefited them. Like not party drugs, just like you take meth and then you just like don't stop working.
Mm-hmm.
And Temmler Werk, I think it's how you say it. It was a German drug maker. They created Pervitin, which was basically crystal meth. And the military was psyched to use the drug because its ability to keep soldiers, especially pilots, awake and alert like for days. You can go for days without sleeping. But it wasn't just the military that used it. There's also over-the-counter Pervitin that civilians could use. And they use it for weight loss, first date jitters, confidence, etc. Like pretty much everything.
Christ.
And I found an article. It's called "The Third Reich Was Addicted to Drugs" by Jessica Laudis. And she said, this variant of crystal meth was available without a prescription, even sold in boxed chocolates, and was widely adopted by all sectors of society to elevate mood, control weight gain, and increase productivity. As the country rebounded from economic depression to nearly full employment, marketing for Pervitin claimed it would help integrate shrinkers, malingers, defeatists, and whiners into the rapidly expanding workforce. I just got out of breath for some
That's a
reason.
mouthful.
But she said students took it to cram for exams, housewives took it to stave off depression. Pervitin was used so common as to be unremarkable, a feature of life in the Third Reich. So it was pretty much like
Everywhere.
it was like as normal as like brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
Taking Pervitin, like it's like it would be like it was so normal. It's like
Washington.
like
or
when
Oregon.
well, I mean like yeah, kind of now, but like it's like if you got a cold, like, oh, you take cold medicine. It was like, oh, you're feeling nervous, and you take your meth. But then the German government decided it was best that the drug was probably not used for like civilians, so they kept it only to military then.
Yeah.
The stimulant degree, it was when the head of the German physiology department of the defense ministry, Otto Rank, ordered 35 million of the Pervitin pills. He said, "We're waging a war on exhaustion," because the military didn't really care about the welfare of the soldiers. They just wanted them to
Be
produce
there,
They wanted them to they just wanted the best out of them. I guess is a way to say it, because I don't know how you can be your best if you're on meth, but
Yeah.
About a month later, on May 10th, 1940, the German army was about to make the push into taking France, when they invaded France, and thousands of the soldiers were given Pervitin in preparation for the why can't I think of the word? Invasion. The drug was so strong and effective that the Nazis took over France in 3 days. They moved into the country without any rest and shocked the whole world with how fast they took the country over. The Nazis took more land in 3 days than Germany did in all of World War I.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because they were all methed out. They just didn't stop, walking through the country, I guess. Because I'm pretty sure it was pretty easy for them to take France over.
Well, France, they weren't prepared for it either.
That's how they surrendered, right? They were just they surrendered.
Yeah.
Sip my drink. So, for a while, this drug was a miracle for the military, being given to soldiers and pilots. It was put in chocolate called Panzer Chocolate, which meant tank chocolate. And it was given to pilots. They called it pilot's salt or pilot's chocolate. They conquered so much territory with the help of amphetamines that it was nobody could believe it. It also helped the Wehrmacht fight for 10 days straight at Dunkirk. They were all methed out when they were driving towards Dunkirk, and they covered about 22 miles a day.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. The soldiers hiked for days on end, and they wouldn't get tired, and it pretty much turned soldiers into super soldiers. And in the early days of World War II, it kind of made people think that Germany was they're going to take the world over.
Yeah.
They seemed unstoppable. And after years of being strung out on drugs, for years on end, obviously the soldiers' performance started to decline.
Yeah.
Because they were taking meth pretty much nonstop for years. And the Germans' Operation Barbarossa, which was their push into Russia, they started failing, and the Russians pushed the Nazis out of Russia and actually kept chasing them through Germany, which is how the war ended.
Yeah.
Eventually. And a lot of that was thanks to them just being strung out. They couldn't, they started having, they started dying of heart failure. They would go through withdrawal. If you don't have that, you're obviously going to go through withdrawal.
Yeah. And
they would even commit suicide from having mental breaks from prolonged use. Because that's a symptom of using meth for long periods of time. You just go insane. And, they contributed a lot of them losing the war to that. There's obviously other factors, they opened 2 fronts, they couldn't fight on 2 fronts. But yeah, studies have shown that if you use methamphetamines regularly for 3 years, 2/3 of the people who do that will suffer from psychosis. So it's just a matter of time before their soldiers started going nuts. And German drug manufacturers towards the end of the war were also trying to synthesize more drugs to combat those effects. So their answer to them losing it because of drugs was more drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And drug 9, or DIX, Roman numeral 9, it was pretty much cocaine and 2 different types of morphine. And it was tested, and it was so intense that it never gained any real traction in the military. They're like, this is a little too crazy.
Yeah.
Which was surprising for Nazis. But they did test that on concentration camp prisoners. And the prisoners could hike 90 kilometers or 56 miles in a day.
Holy shit, dude.
In a day. Yeah. So that's what? That's 2 miles an hour? Non-stop, though. For 24 hours full. Complete 24
hours. Those prisoners are, super weak, too. Can you imagine, a full, healthy soldier?
Fuck. Probably 100 miles a day. The Axis powers. This is what surprised me. I told you that it shocked us about our military. The Axis powers weren't the only powers in World War II that used drugs. The Allied powers also used amphetamines. British soldiers found Pervitin in a crashed German airplane, and this caused England to start a performance enhancement program. America also used the drugs and to aid their soldiers. Both American soldiers and British soldiers used Benzedrine. You may have heard of that. Like, it sounded familiar when I heard it. And cocaine to help with exhaustion. I don't know if it was just like, I doubt they gave him a package that said cocaine. I'm sure there was another name for it, like Benzedrine.
Yeah. Like, I knew they used morphine during World War I.
Well, yeah, for like
or
pain.
World War II.
Like if you got like shot.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. There was another article I found called it's called Allied Forces Dosed Their Troops with Amphetamines After Seeing the Nazis Do It. New doc claims by Marco Margaritov. They said, from physical exhaustion and mental fatigue to overriding shell shock and squashing the debilitating effects of unimaginable fear, soldiers on both sides of World War II were purposefully dosed in order to be at their best. So in World War I, what the hell?
I said World War I too.
Yeah, but I meant to.
World War One as well.
But I meant to say 1941. Oh, it's like I didn't say World War II. So in 1941, the British Royal Air Force gave its pilots Benzedrine in tablet and inhalant forms. Like they had inhalers, just like meth. Dwight D. Eisenhower also hoarded 500,000 Benzedrine pills to give to American soldiers that were in North Africa in 1942. And a memo from a commanding officer in 1942 said that soldiers in the 24th Armored Tank Brigade were to receive 20 milligrams of Benzedrine a day when they were in Egypt. And neither side really cared about like the long-term effects because they were too focused on winning the war. Yeah, because it was at all-out war at that point. Like the whole world war. The whole world was at war. And after the war ended, there wasn't a ton of help for the soldiers that came back and were addicted to drugs. And Japan. I looked into Japan too because I was curious after reading about like us and Nazis. Yeah. I think they had the worst.
Really?
Like the worst drug problem, yeah. The Japanese military and factory workers that aided the military, they also used amphetamines. And Japan used, it was called Philopon and Hirapon to stay awake and to stave off hunger for the military and the factory workers that were like aiding like building tanks and guns and stuff like that. Japan, just like the Nazis and Allies, gave the drugs to both their pilots and their soldiers, especially their kamikaze pilots. They called the Hirapon and Philopon, they called it Senryoku Zokyu Zai, or drug to inspire the fighting spirits. So, Japanese society usually was anti-drug, but the whole country was pushed far beyond their limits.
Yeah.
Because trying to win a world war again. And before kamikaze pilots went on their usual suicide missions, they were injected with very large doses of methamphetamines to make them pretty much, I guess, just insane enough to fly their planes into their targets.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them were young. Like there was like 17-year-olds and stuff that were flying planes into ships. And there's a Zocalo Public Square essay called The World War II Wonder Drug That Never Left Japan, said they were also giving pet pills stamped with the crest of the emperor. These consisted of methamphetamine mixed with green tea powder and were called Tatsuzeki Joe or Toku Joe, known otherwise as storming tablets. Most kamikaze pilots were young, often only in their late teens. Before the injection of Philopon, the pilots undertook a warrior ceremony in which they were presented with sake, wreaths of flowers, and decorated headbands. Sake's I think that's like rice beer. Okay. So they gave them like alcohol I'm guessing the headbands. Have you ever seen those? It was like the Rising Sun headband. I'm guessing that's what they meant.
So they're boozing these kids up.
They were
injecting them with morphine. They expect them to fly a plane.
They gave them alcohol and meth.
Or not morphine. I'm sorry. Meth.
And said, kill yourself. And Japan's wartime drug use created the worst addiction problem after the war. And soldiers and factory workers that were hooked easily got more drugs afterwards, since the military's surplus was quote dumped into the domestic market.
Okay.
It's there was no real government to keep control of them afterwards. People just steal the shit and sell it. So Upon surrendering in 1945, this is a quote again, the country had massive stores of Hereupon in warehouses, military hospitals, supply depots, and caves peppered throughout its territories. So, some of... That's probably loud as shit in the microphone. Some was used as medicine, but most of the surplus was pumped back into the black market. But back to during the war, the Japanese generals viewed the meth's side effects as assets because they were like emotion numbing, gave them like no empathy, just like pretty much like soulless killers.
Yeah.
And they pretty much wanted their soldiers to become maniacal, drug-fueled psychopaths, is what the article I was reading said. Hereupon and Philippon was actually a huge reason why the soldiers could do the bonsai charges.
Okay.
You know how they would just fucking like sprint.
Yeah.
And synthetic meth known as shabu and alcohol were both used to give soldiers the proper aggressive spirit to aid in bonsai charges. So I went back to Hitler after that.
Okay.
Himself. God damn.
He was out of his fucking
He was drugged.
mind.
They're pretty sure that was a huge factor in why he lost, because he couldn't make decisions anymore.
Have you seen comparisons of him at the beginning of the war to the end of the war?
Mm-mm.
Like at the beginning,
Like pictures?
yeah, and like video of him, like he looks like proud, like he has good posture, and at the end of the war, he's like slunched over like this, and there's a video of him with these like what do they call the SS kids?
The Hitler Youth?
Yeah, Hitler Youth. There's some kids there. It's the last time anyone saw him above his bunker, and he's holding his hand like this behind his back, and it's shaking like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's obviously something wrong with him at the end of the war. I can't remember what they said it was.
Dude, I have a lot. There's a ton of drugs that he was on. There's like a fucking list. It's like 70s, in the 70s, the amount of drugs that he was on.
Holy shit, dude.
So, Theodor Morell was Hitler's personal doctor, and he was known for using unconventional treatments. Many people thought he wasn't a good doctor and was barely qualified to even work as a vet. And Albert Speer...
Wait. Like a vet for animals?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But I guess Hitler just liked him. Which...
So Hitler thinks he's a dog? Is he furry, dude?
Hitler's probably a furry. He was the one that wore like the butt plug with the tail on the end of it.
Can you imagine that? Like him and Eva Braun, their bodies being carried out, and out falls his butt plug before they're burned.
They're like, does he have a fucking tail? Like, and then they open his pants up and like they pull him down a little bit and they pull the tail back through the pants hole, and it's a butt plug. I wonder if his shit smelled like crack.
What if it sizzled or like went
like burned like acid? Water? He has crack in his crack. But Albert Speer, he wrote Inside the Third Reich. He said in 1936, when this guy was a Nazi. He was like a high up Nazi. He said in 1936, when my circulation and stomach rebelled, I called at Morell's private office. After a superficial examination, Morell prescribed me for his intestinal bacteria, dextrose, vitamins, and hormone tablets. For safety's sake, I afterward had a thorough examination by Professor von Bergmann, the specialist in internal medicine at Berlin University. I was not suffering from any organic trouble, he concluded, but only from nervous symptoms caused by overwork. I slowed down my pace as best I could, and the symptoms abated. To avoid offending Hitler, I pretended that I was carefully following Morell's instructions, and since my health improved, I became for a time Morell's showpiece. So Morell gave him a strain of intestinal bacteria, some dextrose, which I think is sugar, like some type of sugar or starch.
Okay.
Hormone tablets, because he thought he was just fucked up, and it was just him overworking. So he didn't follow Morell's instructions, which could have probably
killed him.
Either that or fucked him up.
Yeah.
He just didn't work as much, and he got better. And they're like, oh, like this sealed the deal. Like they're like, Morell is doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably why Hitler loved him so much. That's probably one of the contributing factors. In the morning, if Hitler was tired, Morell would give him a solution from a small gold foil packet that he called Vitamultin. And when it was later secretly tested by an SS scientist, Ernest Gunther Schnack, it was found to contain methamphetamine, so he woke him up with meth. Morell also kept a journal of all the drugs that he gave to Hitler, 74 substances in 28 different mixtures.
Holy shit, dude.
He was pumping him full of drugs every day. These included cocaine eye drops, heroin, adrenaline, oxycodone, glucose, amino acids, vitamins, bacteria from human feces, protein compounds, caffeine, penicillin, extract of seminal vesicles and prostate, and he even injected Hitler with bull semen.
I was gonna ask about that.
I guess to like pump up his testosterone.
Yeah.
Why not just take like testosterone? Why bull cum?
Because bull cum is probably like crazy.
Cum of bull. I can see that marketed like as a fancy drug, like cream of bull cum.
Cum of bull.
Cream, dude. I bet he ate cream of bull cum soup.
Dude, no, he had to.
Cream of testicle.
Cream of nut.
We could do that. We can make that like a T-shirt someday. Cream of testicle. Morel approved. Vitamoltin contains cream of bull cum, or no, cream of testicle and meth. I'm gonna stop rambling. He was regularly injecting Hitler with these drugs up to 20 times a day. 20 injections a day.
So that's like almost once an hour.
But he has to sleep too, so
Holy shit!
yeah.
Okay, so
He would take drugs to go to sleep too.
We'll take out 5 hours to sleep.
5 hours.
Yeah, 5 hours.
That's being generous.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna sleep a whole lot. You know, fuck it. We'll go down to 3. We'll go down to 3 hours. So that's nearly once an hour.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
I'd imagine that they either put him to bed with drugs or a frying pan. Imagine that that's how he went to bed every night, was just getting cracked in the head with a pan. I mean, that'd make as much sense as the drugs he gave him.
Yeah.
But yeah, and by the end of the war, he was considered a super junkie that couldn't make decisions even close to as fast as he could in the beginning of the war. Like you said, his hand was fucking shaking, like couldn't keep it together. It's also said that from the thousands of injections that he got, that his veins had started to collapse, and Theodore Morel inadvertently pushed Hitler into his deteriorating mental and physical health, which effectively ended the war. Because I'm pretty sure, like, if Hitler wasn't a junkie, you saw how well they performed in the first half of the war.
Yeah.
I wonder if Morel, like, saved the world on accident.
Maybe.
Who knows? So the moral of the story is that pretty much the whole of World War II was run on meth and hate. I have some more. Another point that I missed until after I was done with research. This is from How Japan Financed Its Military with Drug Money During World War II by Morgan Dunn. She said, after invading Manchuria in 1931, Japan turned much of the northeast China into an opium plantation, then used the drug to subdue the population and used the profits to fund its military. So as soon as they conquered like their Pacific territories, they turned them into like opium manufacturers. Morphine and heroin were also made, and they got the Chinese citizens addicted to it, so that they can make money for the military, for one, by selling it to their citizens that made it.
Mm-hmm.
And they also thought that if they were all addicted to drugs, they would be compliant, because they would be just like on the teat of drugs, I guess. Like,
yeah.
They wouldn't. That's the only thing they'd care about. Like, you've seen videos of people on drugs, like their whole goal is pretty much to get their next fix, which I'm sure probably helped them a ton, that their citizens didn't want to fight back against them being invaded. So to the military, the opiate industry was almost as important as the emperor himself, because it made up so much money for their military.
Yeah.
And they viewed him as a god. So that tells you how important opiates were to Japan. The profit they made from these drugs was equal to China's entire annual budget at the time, and all of it went to their military. So that was just a quick side note from the research.
God damn.
Yeah, this was a very interesting week of research to me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that we used meth too.
Yeah, me neither.
And then yeah, I wonder if that's a big contributor as to mobs and stuff that popped up. Because everybody was still like kind of addicted to those drugs after they came back.
Mm-hmm.
That sounded fucking disgusting.
I wonder if the mic's picked it up.
I don't know. If I was wearing the headphones, I could tell you, but I don't feel like wearing them. That's gross. Yeah, but that's all I have on the meth of World War II.
Shaved.
Shaved, honey. So what'd you get into this week?
So I got into the Carroll A Deering, and so for those of you who don't know, it was a ship that was launched on April 4th, 1919, and it was named after the owner's son, and was the last ship built in its fleet. So he had 100 ships built, and this was the last one. And for 2 years, it done like regular schooner work, just like taking shit wherever it needed to go. And in August of 1921, the Carroll A. Deering left Boston under the command of William H. Merritt, as well as his son, who was the first mate. It didn't have his name, but he served as his dad's first mate. But after William got sick, him and his son, they got off the ship, or got off in Lewis, Delaware.
Just a couple of guys who totally got off.
Fucking right, good buddy. So the guy who owned the company, he hired Captain W.B. Warmell as the new captain, and they also hired Charles B. McClellan as the first mate of the crew of 9 that were left on the ship. And normally I thought that like the captain would always pick like the first mate, but in this case they did not, and that's going to be a big factor of this story. They didn't let him pick his first mate. But
it looked like the window was open, but I know it's not. I could hear the wind blow, and it looked like the flag came out a little bit.
I saw that too.
That was weird. I wonder if there's like a crack or something.
Yeah, maybe. Right in the crack.
Right in the crack.
So the 11 men, they sailed down to Rio de Janeiro, and they made it on September 8th, 1921. And it says here that there was something wrong when they got there, because Warmell told all the men that they could have a leave to relax like after their long trip, and they were there for like 2 months, which is like usually pretty long. Like I know like the Navy, if they go on leave, like they go to city, I think they have like 4 or 5 days, don't they?
They were on leave for 2 months. Oh shit.
That's what it sounds like anyway. And Warmell ran into another captain, and he was friends with, and he was talking to him and his first mate, and he said that he did not like his new first mate, calling him a troublemaker, and he kept calling him all these bad different things. And on December 2nd, they left to come back to the States, and something also must have happened when they left Rio and got to Barbados to resupply, because McClellan got drunk while on leave again. This one wasn't nearly as long as the last one. And so he got drunk while he was on leave, and he went to a bar and was complaining to another captain and another first mate in the bar that he was drinking at, and he told them that Captain Warmell had neglected like to navigate the ship because apparently he had bad eyes because he was old. And there was so like the crew was getting a little rowdy, and he was like not taking control, and so McClellan said he did it. And he was also heard saying that he'd kill Captain Warmell before they made it back to the country, which is like a pretty big deal.
Do you think it was like I'm planning to kill him, or it's just like I could fucking kill him?
I don't know, but it'll be a very important part of the story.
Okay.
And so that same night, McClellan was arrested, and Warmell apparently he went out of his way to get his bail. So apparently, like, he doesn't seem like such a bad guy. Like, if he's bailing the one guy on the boat he doesn't like. And he said he didn't like the rest of the crew either, but not nearly as bad as like his dislike for McClellan.
So he was like the kind of guy who just really didn't get along with anybody?
Yeah. That's what it sounds like anyway. So on January 29th, 1922, they left for Portland, Maine, which was, I guess, like the ship's like home port or whatever. And so like whenever, like not so much now I don't think, but in like older ports, they had a light ship, like a lighthouse almost, and it would sit in the middle of the water, and like it'd show you where to go in, like to reach the main port.
Okay.
And so they passed the light ship that was outside the Barbados port, and the men on the light ship said that one man on board was yelling at them, saying that they lost all their anchors, because normally they were supposed to go in and they'd stop and I guess like talk to the light ship or something. And it said that they also said the crew was on the forbidden part of the deck, which stood out because like normally they weren't allowed on one. I think it was like one of the front parts of the ship.
Why?
I don't know. It didn't say, but this was the last time that anyone had seen the crew. So, on January 31st, the Coast Guard found the ship beached off of Diamond Shoals in North Carolina, and it said it's like outside of Outer Banks, and they finally boarded on February 4th after the sea conditions got a lot calmer because I guess they were pretty rough, and there were no sign of the crew, and there was food out in the galley, like as if someone were about to cook, like for a meal the next morning, and two lifeboats and many important documents like the ship's log were missing, as well as like their navigational tools. And when they checked the captain's room, there were like many pairs of boots that were found. So like obviously the captain doesn't have like 6 pairs of boots on this one trip. So that means
Wait, so he took the crew's boots?
I think they were thinking that like maybe multiple people were staying in his room.
Oh, like something else was on the ship and they wanted to.
Well, or they like killed him and
Is this
threw him
like
overboard.
Wait, so why would they all be staying in the one room though?
Well, I think they're usually bigger than like a regular cruise room, so they could fit like I'm not saying there were 6 people in there, but I'm saying like maybe 3 or 4 people stayed in there.
What if it was just the boot room?
Maybe wipe off your boots and go below deck.
Mm-hmm. Go. Sounds dirty.
There were also red lights going up the ship's mast, or one of the ship's masts. It was like I didn't realize this until I looked it up like right before we started. It was like a sailboat almost. Here, I'll pull up a picture of it.
Red lights going up the mast?
Yeah, that was like, I guess at the time that would tell other ships that like could see them that they need help.
Was it like red lanterns or something like?
I think so, yeah. So that was the last picture taken of it. Right there.
Okay.
There's a bit of a better picture.
That kind of looks like a ship that something weird would happen on.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh, fuck.
That's it in the 50s.
I think. Oh, it's still there? Is it still there?
I think there was another picture I found. That's what it looked like in 55. And there was one that was like almost totally beneath the sand.
I forget. When did you say this happened?
1922. It was founded in 1922. Like the new year of 1921 into 22.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it looked. There's a picture of it and like almost totally below the sand. So it's either A, gone, like destroyed, yeah, or buried. But
pretty cool to find.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet. But yeah, so there's red lights going up the side which said that they need help. And when they looked at the ship's map, which like I guess they would use it like as a day-to-day, like to show their progress, like getting to where they need to go. It said after January 23rd that the handwritten had changed, because I guess the original captain anyway, had like a very distinctive handwriting, and after January 23rd it was not his handwriting.
So the captain was probably killed? Yeah. So do you think the whole crew would have been in on it?
If they didn't like him, or if he didn't like them, maybe. Yeah. But a lot of people think that the crew had a mutiny against Captain Wormel somewhere between January 29th and the 23rd, since the crew were seen on the deck where they weren't allowed to go, because obviously no one's going to stop them if no one's in charge. Another theory is that rum runners, like gangsters who would bring like booze up from South America, that they took over the ship. And I forgot to mention this earlier, whenever they passed by the light ship, another white ship that didn't have a name on it came up like very close behind them, like right after they passed, going the same direction, and to try, because the wireless in the light ship wasn't working, and in order to try and get them to stop, like without like saying like, hey,
wait, the wireless
stop. Yeah, like Marconi, stuff like that, like
Morse code.
Yeah, Morse code. So they couldn't talk to them that way, and they blew the ship's whistle, and apparently it said that it could be heard from 5 miles away. Damn. So obviously like they heard it.
Yeah, someone would have heard it.
Yeah, and when they passed by the light ship, so the ship took off after them, and some people think that gangsters came across the ship while they were dropping booze off that would like float towards the coast, and that they killed them in order to like save their hide, like so they wouldn't get caught. And some people also think that the gangsters may have tried to steal the ship, but I don't get how they explain like the 2 missing lifeboats, and if they did steal it, why would it be on the shore without them on it? And other people, including the ship's original captain, the William H.M. something guy, he thought that the ship had been taken over by pirates. Like, they just took all the shit on the ship. But
left all the boots.
Yeah, all the boots are still there.
What assholes.
What do you think it is?
What if...
And, like, there could be more stuff like aliens or stuff like that.
Have you ever heard of breakaway civilizations?
No.
I think it's when, like a theory that, like, scientists or something, they'll just go missing. And I don't think there's any proof. There's been stories about it, like, people come to shore to buy stuff on an island, and they buy stuff all in, like, gold or some, like, weird metal. But, like, what if there was a breakaway civilization of, like, they had higher technology and they're like, we like these guys? Or what if it's a cannibal society?
Shaved.
I'm talking out of my ass right now. They just came up and snatched him. I don't know.
Like, even if it was a mutiny, I don't understand why they would be missing too.
Yeah, they mutinied and then just took off in two lifeboats.
Another, I guess I missed this too. They went through the Bermuda Triangle. Okay. So that could also explain.
I heard a theory recently. I can't remember what it was, but it was like someone explaining what it could be.
Why the Bermuda Triangle is real?
Like why stuff goes missing and crashes.
Well, like there's a lot of storms down there because it's all tropical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there's like other tropical places that don't get storms like that.
And
some
actually,
electromagnetic interference or something in that area.
A storm was another culprit. They said that them and another ship, which could be the ship that didn't stop, they both are said to have like gone around the same time as a storm, but both of them made it out before the storm hit. What
if there's like water coming on board from the storm and they thought that they were sinking, so they took off in lifeboats?
Maybe.
I don't know. It just seems weird.
Yeah.
Like
it seemed weird to leave boots.
It doesn't seem...
And food.
Yeah, it doesn't seem paranormal to me.
Yeah.
Like some of these things we talk about. It just seems like something weird happened. Like they got freaked out for some reason. What if they saw a mermaid and tried to chase it?
I bet.
Have you ever seen those pictures? It's like if mermaids were real, they'd look like this, and they're fucking horrifying looking.
No.
Like they'd be fat as shit because like they're underwater and they need to stay warm, and like they look gross. They're like all like pale and like gray and like fat and.
That sounds nasty.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm looking up a picture. What would a mermaid actually look like, dude? It's fucking horrifying. What would a merman? What would a mermaid?
A
Merthing. Non-binary mermaid. Half fish, half human. See, I'm just finding. I found a banana tea. A banatee. It's like a mix between a banana and a manatee. That's not what I was looking up. God, I'm gonna like have some weird suggestions come up on my computer now for like ads.
Mm.
Looking up mermaids. Yeah, I can't really find any. A suggested search that came up with that was vampire. Yeah, I can't find it. It's not worth
the time.
Boring the listeners, all 5 of them, for this. Oh, there's one that's kind of weird. Were you fooled by Animal Planet's mermaid? This looks gay. It's like a Bigfoot. So what about that light that was seen like near our house?
That's just what I was about to bring up. Last night, my mom sent this to our family group chat today. Light in the sky. Viewers share pictures of unusual sight over Westmoreland County, which is where we live, and the town that it was in is like where we both grew up, where our grandparents live right now, and it's not a big town. Like, it might be...
It's like a strip of road with some buildings around it, pretty
much.
much.
Maybe like half a mile.
Yeah.
Not even. So it's not a big town, and like, how do you want to do this? Maybe just put it up on Instagram?
Yeah, we could. It ended up being from the SpaceX launch.
Yeah. But it looked really cool.
Yeah, it did. It left this giant trail of like light behind it, but like I'm guessing it's because
it was like an airhead almost.
Yeah, it was probably because it was going through
so fast.
Yeah, like you know how like when people come back in from space, how like their shit catches on fire because it's like the friction of the air hitting it. I wonder if that's what that was.
And it happened at 6:10 this morning.
It kind of looks like the trail a comet leaves behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right before we started recording, we found out that it was Tesla. But we were gonna talk about aliens and shit. But never mind.
Fuck. There's one reason I hate local news sites.
What?
Right below this article, it's like, airy offline hip gloss super high waisted legging, and then women's tree dasher sneakers.
Okay, I'm seeing something very similar. I'm seeing Style Ew. I don't even know how to explain that, but there, that's what I'm getting.
Style-y?
Style We.
Some weird clothing website.
Yeah.
Well, it's 50 degrees in Pittsburgh right now, so at least we know that.
This store has 826 shares.
Mine's saying 722.
Mm.
Now I'm going to refresh it. It says 8:45. Dude, I had this thought this week. I was on Snapchat. You know how like they have the there's like the Snap Originals and stuff like that. They're always really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I've been seeing this at Looper. I think it's some like media company or something.
Okay.
But it's like for the past 2 weeks, it's like, here's why Hollywood canceled this, or Hollywood got rid of this celebrity.
Oh, I know what
here's
you're talking
why.
about. Yeah.
And I always fucking hit hide story, and like an hour later it's back up, and it's driving me fucking crazy. I'm thinking about just deleting all my social media. I can't take it. All the stupid shit.
Yeah.
And then like fucking god damn it. This is gonna get me canceled.
How would we know if you're alive?
Me?
Yeah.
I still text people.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not me texting. But like the what's that love is love thing?
I know the old man little boy love. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but they post stuff like, here's this lady walking her dog, but her dog's her husband.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And like, I don't know, they shed light on stuff that doesn't need to be shed. Like I don't.
It's not newsworthy.
Well, it's not meant to be news. It's entertainment, but like, it's really fucking stupid, in my opinion. Like I get it. Like you can love who you love, unless it's kids.
Yeah.
Unless it's kids.
Or like your daughter.
And like,
or your son.
And they were making this point on Drinking Bros where I was listening the other day. Like, when did it become so popular to like make your sexuality your personality?
Yeah.
I can't fucking take it anymore. Like, people, they're like, as a gay man, like, I don't care if you like dick.
Yeah.
Like, just say
like
as
Eric.
Just like as me. That's all you have to say. Like, here's my opinion, not as a gay man.
Yeah.
Or as a non-binary. And it just drives me fucking crazy. Oh boy. So what do you want to get into, dude?
I don't know.
I want to find some weird ass news articles. I want to look up some. There's always really cool shit on the astronomy section on Apple News. Like, okay, grand number, powerful storm. Like that's where I found the what was it last week? The space hurricane. That's where that was on. What?
No, I was doing a regular show.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Harvard professor says strange interstellar asteroid was an alien spacecraft. You remember Oumuamua?
What?
It's called Oumuamua. They named it the Hawaiian name as forget what it meant, like the lone something. But it was this asteroid that was going like some crazy speed that like it shouldn't be, and it didn't get caught in our gravity or something. Like it zipped around our sun, then headed back out into space. Like that's not natural, so I think that it could have been something else, like not just a comet. But it was a cigar-shaped object. It was apparently massive. Like,
why do they always call them cigar-shaped?
I think that's just because like that's what they called them back in like the 60s when UFOs were like a huge thing. And it now just makes people be like, stupid. Like, you guys are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why that pilot from American Airlines was like, I hate to say this, but it's like a cigar-shaped object. But they don't think it was like an alien ship or anything. I heard there's a guy on Joe Rogan. I forget it, Avi Loeb, I think his name is. He's a professor. I think that might be who this is about. But he thinks it wasn't like a ship or anything. It might have been just like a piece of trash or something, or like what if something broke? Like it was some
Like, you just snapped off
some
something.
structure or something that broke in some other like solar system and it came in somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That would be crazy to see, like, because like if we're not the most technologically advanced, like,
What is?
yeah, like how far ahead are they? Like, what if they have like a satellite as big as a planet?
Mm-hmm.
How crazy would it be to see like half of that broken off and just like come in?
That'd be insane, dude.
Like they're looking at it with telescopes and you see like alien writing and shit on it. Or what if it was English? What if you saw like something with English on it come back from a different, like,
That'd be weird.
that'd be a mind fuck. Then that would either seal the deal for me for aliens kickstarting our
Universe?
not universe, our evolution. Because like maybe like where do we get English from?
Mm-hmm.
But or simulation theory. There's some guy that wrote a book recently that he said ancient Germanic, like that language, was like the original language that was used, and that he translated the Old Testament, like Genesis, and that when he translated it, it actually meant, like, it stated that aliens made us in their ships. I heard about it on Mysterious Universe, and it sounded crazy.
Yeah, that's out there.
It sounded really dumb. Yeah. He wrote a whole book on it, I'm pretty sure. Like, he did the research for years.
Well, like, I wouldn't really trust that because, like, even fucking Google Translate, like, if I try and use, like, Spanish to English or English to Spanish for, like, my Spanish class, it doesn't work half the time.
Yeah.
So, like, I would be very, very wary to believe that.
I'm looking it up right now. A piece of garbage on my computer. Old Saxon Genesis. No. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and do a ton of research right now.
Yeah.
But, like...
Dude, can you hear this thing still crackling?
What, your soda? I'm hearing mine drip a couple times when you were talking, but... Oh, dude, I have an idea for what I want to do next week. It might take a couple episodes to do it.
Okay.
There's a book. It's called Chaos. And it's about... This guy wrote this book for, like, 20-some years doing research. And I'm pretty sure it's true. Like, it ties into, like, MK Ultra and Charles Manson. And he pretty much concluded that Charles Manson was part of MK Ultra, and that, like, with them fucking with his head with drugs and shit, that's how he, like, got those people to kill the people, like his cult or whatever. And I forget, another Rogan podcast, he had him on. I haven't listened to the podcast, but, like, apparently it's pretty convincing. Like, he found, like, evidence and stuff, because, like, Manson kept getting out of jail somehow. Like, they just kept letting him out. And, like, you know, he was crazy, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It sounds really interesting, because we did MK Ultra when we first started. But, like, it'd be really cool to find out if the MK Ultra is actually what caused Manson to order those people to kill.
Yeah.
I might do that. And there's another... I want to do books more because I'm sick of staring at my fucking computer screen for hours a night researching. But there's another one called Manhunters. It's about this DEA agent. He wrote it. He was in, I think, Colombia in the 80s when they were hunting down what's his face, Pablo Escobar. And I listened to a podcast called, like, I Spy or something. He was on it, and he was describing, like, when he was down there. And Escobar, apparently, I didn't know this, he volunteered to go to jail for a couple years because, like, there was some program that the government was doing. Like, there was so many drug problems, like, with cartels and stuff, that, like, you could turn yourself in, you could be charged for one thing of your choosing and go to prison for, like, 5 years, and you were expunged of all your other crimes.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I don't think they do it anymore. It was just in the 80s when, like, cocaine was a giant it's probably still a big problem. But, and Escobar, he made... conditions. He kept changing the conditions. He made his own prison to stay in, his own prison guards, his own inmates of his choosing, and pretty much he was in jail, but they could leave whenever they want, like to go to restaurants and stuff. And they had like a soccer court, like a soccer field. It was lit up so they could play soccer at night. He had like jacuzzis and like big screen TVs and like fine art in his prison.
You serious, Clark?
Yeah, and like almost all like the big prisoners there, that because they're all of his choosing, they're all his friends. They had like these switches in their rooms that would open up a hiding spot in case like someone invaded the prison to like actually like send him to prison. And yeah, dude, then he had fucking escaped again because like they were actually coming to send him to prison. And dude, it's fucking crazy. The story's crazy. So I want to get the book to go deeper into it.
Yeah.
It was like 40 minutes of what I listened to. It was really fucking cool. But like I never really researched like the 80s like big drug bust and stuff, like with the cartels, and it was way more interesting than I thought it would be, especially with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So I might do that book soon if I can find it around here. Damn, dude. That fucking wind. Is it supposed to get like cold or something? Is like a cold front moving in?
I don't think so.
That is going. It sounds like it's going to blow our house down. There is air coming in through this window. I can feel it.
See if we can get some good ASMR.
ASMR. Can you hear it, guys? It'd be a muffled rage. Yeah? Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it.
Oh, who'd you want to say happy birthday to, Ben?
Oh, Brian Q. Quinn of Impractical Jokers. Thank you. Happy birthday, Hoss.
He's probably my favorite Joker on the show.
I'd say him.
Him and Sal, I think.
Yeah.
Because Sal's like a fucking baby about everything. Every time you do those challenges where like they're reading the names off,
and he can't make it through.
He like always loses those ones. Oh, dude, I figured out. I'm trying to find more stuff to put on the walls in here to get it real like turned into or like the studio. I found the the picture from Always Sunny when they're at the Jersey Shore and Charlie's eating the sunblock.
Okay.
Because you know how they like filled theirs up with alcohol, and he's like, "You guys were right, the sunblock," and he like eats it and goes, "Ooh." I want to get that picture. I found the picture. I just need to find a high quality one to get it printed. It looks really funny.
Actually, I thought about getting an Impractical Jokers movie poster.
Oh yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, that would be.
Come on. I got this little piece here. It was smaller than I kind of wanted.
Yeah, I figured it'd be like that size or something.
I had the option to get it big, but like I want to be able to put more stuff up instead of just like a couple big things.
Yeah.
It's like Vans and AK and a little Warm Fuzzy Wu-Tang sticker. Because that company's Warm Fuzzy. Yeah, they make cool stuff. They have playlists too. That's where I got the idea to make Grandma's Room playlists.
Okay. Because
they have like their clothing company and like they do a lot of social media stuff. They're the ones that like I send you videos. They're like in the helicopters and shit, like hunting hogs in Texas.
Oh yeah.
That's them doing that.
I didn't know that.
That's like that looks like so much fun. Going in a helicopter.
Yeah.
Doing that.
It's like nom.
And you don't need like license or anything to hunt those hogs because they're so invasive. Like they destroy people's ranches, so like they'll pay you to come out and like hunt their hogs for you.
That's pretty sweet, dude.
Yeah, and some of the I heard like some of the meat's rancid, but like some of it's actually really good. Like pork is amazing. I love pork, like shredded pork.
Like pulled pork.
Fuck my ass. I will kill a man for some pulled pork, like barbecue pulled pork.
Dude, last year at work, we got the entire pig, and.
Is it with the apple in the mouth?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And I was the one who had to take it out, except like I don't know if this is like always like this, but they took all the meat out of the pig, which like that's to be expected. But there wasn't anything in the skin. Like the skin was still there.
The skins.
Yeah, the fucking skins, dude. And it was like tanned. It was weird, dude. And it had the apple in the mouth, and like it was almost like it looked like you could blow it up.
It had an Eric the Awful inside of it.
Plugged up at the end. But
wait, so it was just the hollow shell of pig skin?
Yeah, and it's just sitting at the end.
Is this for decoration?
Just sitting at the edge of the buffet.
That's so. I wonder if it's just like a tradition thing.
Like I've always seen them in cartoons, but like they're full.
Yeah, you would think it would be. Like you know how like you for Thanksgiving you stuff the turkey.
Yeah.
Like at least stuff the meat back in so you can like pull it out of its ass. Because it is kind of fucked up that we stuff turkeys
Well,
through their ass.
It was also during COVID too, so we had girls like they were the ones that would touch.
Oh, so not everyone was like.
So maybe it is usually like that, but because of COVID, it wasn't. But I don't know. It was fucking disgusting though. I was the one.
It looked like a circus tent, kind of like propped up, like stretched out and shit.
It looked like a destroyed circus tent caving in on itself.
So it wasn't. They didn't even attempt to make it look plump like a pig. It was just like a dead pig.
Ass and the head stood up like this, and the apple came out of the mouth, and that was it.
So it's just Oh, so it looked like a tent that fell down.
It looked like someone just threw it up on there, like literally threw it.
They threw it up on a couple sticks and just said, "Fuck it, here's an apple." Did anybody eat the apple afterwards?
Someone got dared to do it, like bite it out of its mouth.
Did they?
No.
Dude, do you remember on Jackass whenever they put the apple in Preston Lacey's ass crack and they had the hog eat it out of his ass? It looked so funny, dude. It looked horrifying.
Now I gotta find it.
He was like freaking out. You know, Preston Lacey like freaks out about everything. Do you remember the one? Oh, do you remember the one where he was on top of the porta potty, dressed like King Kong, and he was trying to hit the remote control airplane out of the sky, and he fell off the porta potty. He ate it so fucking hard, dude. Oh my god, their movies are fucking hilarious. They're making a fourth one.
I heard.
Without Bam though. Yeah. He kind of went off the wagon. Like, what happened? He started saying like fuck all of them.
Yeah, he said that they like ruined like the last like year and a half or whatever. I don't.
Did he say how? Or he just
no? That's what I don't get. Like, I hear him say all this shit, and like I don't know whose side to pick because I haven't heard anything. So like I'm not the one to be judging that.
I'm gonna say this without much research, but I'm probably gonna take not his side because he seems like he just went nuts.
He was on Dr. Phil too for like drug use and all that too.
Yeah, he moved to South America for a while too, didn't he?
Really?
He got big and he started skateboarding again.
You wanna watch
and
this?
like yeah, I don't know. We probably can't have that on YouTube because it's like.
Here, I'll just turn this way and we can take the sound out.
If we get like taken down or something, I'll just edit it out. But like, we can probably have the sound in. You know, sign in to view this video.
Fuck off.
I don't want to take the time to do that in the middle of the podcast.
Maybe it's a sign from God.
Yeah, that's gonna keep us up. Pretty much, it says Preston naked. He's like probably like 300 pounds.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He's on his hands and knees naked with an apple in his ass crack.
In like a mudded pit.
Yeah, in a pig pen.
Yeah.
And a hog comes and eats it out of his ass. Have you seen the one where Steve had the helmet on and the helmet was connected to a tube and Preston farted into the tube?
Yes.
And he was like puking.
Oh my god.
Well, because he was farting into a funnel connected to a tube and he actually shit into it.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh man.
There's some of the stuff they do, you cannot pay me enough to do it. It's so fucking nasty.
Dude, I want to go watch that now.
We could. I'd probably watch it in a little bit.
Alright.
Stinky with Jackass. Which one's your favorite movie out of all of them?
Either one or two. I fucking love when they're running at the very beginning of number 2 when they're running through the fake neighborhood and the bulls are just like ravaging everything. And Bam or not
Who
Bam.
was in the garbage can? Was that Ryan Dunn?
No, that was Dave England.
Okay. Did they hit the garbage? Did they run into the garbage can too?
Yeah.
Fucking took him out.
I fucking love whenever Ryan Dunn, he jumps into a car and the door's open.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Just as he jumps in, the bull takes off the door.
Can you imagine how fucked up he would be if that bull hit him, dude? The thing was moving. He like trucked the door off of the car. Didn't it was when they were running through the house. They like dove through the window as the bull was about to hit them. The porta potty slingshot.
Oh my god. Poo Cocktail Supreme.
He had to breathe through his mouth because his nose is clamped. So like,
and all this shit is just flying through the air.
Poo. Every time it came down, it just fucking sprayed shit down out of the. Oh my god, dude.
I like watching Jeff Tremaine laughing that hard and that during that clip. Oh my god, dude.
They piss on him a lot. Like you'll see, like he like in the 2.5 and 3.5 when he's doing interviews, that like come up and start like pissing on his back. Like, I don't think I could I love watching them. I don't think I can make one of those movies.
Yeah, I don't think I can endure that.
They get fucked with so constantly. You're
Like,
always
I know
on
how
edge.
to take a joke, but I think that'd be too much.
Like, yeah, when you're sleeping and they fucking like start shocking you with tasers and shit.
And like you know how they'll have a boxing glove in the one hand and a bottle of water, and they'll splash you and then punch you from.
So you like look the other way and like.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are some great movies. I hope for. I don't know how they're still doing it. They're getting old. Like they're probably gonna get really fucked up like filming it unless.
Well, I think Johnny Knoxville already did.
Unless they do more what got fucked up.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna do more pranks and like stunts in this movie.
Maybe.
But I also feel like they're so real that they're like, fuck that, we're gonna get hurt. But Poo Cocktail Supreme. You might wanna.
What the fuck?
Let's just not play movie clips for now.
Yeah.
I'll look into the rules. I want to look into getting more like good music in our videos.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what kind of license you have to get.
Yeah.
I don't know if that involves turning this into an actual like registered company so you can actually buy the thing or what. Let's look into it. Like I want to eventually do that, like turn it into a business, but like we need actual people to listen to us.
Yeah. Ratings on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, that'll. Like if you like just leave like a word like 5 stars. This podcast grew my dick by 5 inches. That'll get us moved up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you want to call it, dude.
Call it a day.
What do you want to do? You want to keep going?
I want to watch Jackass.
So I guess we're gonna call it. I have to piss really bad.
All right. Thank you for listening.
From us to you.
Yes.
Have a happy New Year.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google,
Handles.
What?
Say your handles. They know where to find us. At Grandma's Room Podcast.
Yeah, at Grandma's Room Podcast. Rumble. Are we on Parler?
I made an account like months ago. I haven't posted anything. I always forget about it.
What else is there?
We're Rumble, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify. We're on Google Podcast. We're on Stitcher. We're gonna make. Should we keep the summer thing a surprise?
Yeah.
What?
Surprise.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll keep. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Stay tuned, grandchildren.
You could have been anywhere else.
But you're
So
here.
thanks for listening.